Living with children who have developmental delay can be very challenging. Parents often shy away from public life, but there are some who are willing to share their day-to-day lives.
We did think long and hard about whether we'd let ourselves be filmed at home, and particularly Tilly, because we thought if she can't be part of that decision, was it fair to do? But again, if the programme gets to air, somebody might see it and see Tilly, and it might just, you know, ring some bells. They might say, oh, you know, I had a kid just like that, and this is the person they need to see. It gets our story, or Tilly's story, out to so many more people.
I want people to understand more about other people, instead of just writing them off and being in their own worlds, in their own little houses. I want other people to be more knowledgeable of Reese, to understand Reese more and to be able to forgive him more. That's one of the reasons why I want you to come into our lives.
This is Tilly. Tilly is my sister. She is really special. Not everyone understands Tilly, but I think I understand her as well as anyone. If there was one word that I would really like Tilly to be able to say that she can't, it would probably be, I love you, Jamie. One sentence. I do feel responsible for Tilly always, because she's very close to me. I've known her nearly all my life. I just really like her, and if she comes to harm, I'll feel really ashamed.
Jamie is a very serious boy. He's a Virgo. They worry. That's what he told me once. I'm a Virgo. I'm a worrier.
The Ainsworth family live in St Albans. Jamie's dad, Anthony, works for a bank. Tilly and Jamie's mum, Vicky, stays at home to look after the children, the youngest of whom is Saskia, the comedienne of the family. At 2.5, Saskia's development is already ahead of Tilly's.
I would really like to take her to a football match, because I love watching football games. I would just really like Tilly to be normal, but can't change what's already happened.
Brother. Your brother. What? What? Do Jamie.
She can say Bubba for brother, and sometimes when she's nice and calm, she does that for that's sign language for Jamie.
You do Jamie.
Mother.
Good girl. Clever, Tilly. Jamie. Jamie, that's right.
I want to know whether she's happy or sad. I want to just know what's wrong with her sometimes. I just want to know what's going on in her mind, really. Because she can't tell us anything. That's quite hard.
Jamie was 2 and 9 months when Tilly was born.
She's Tilly. Are you a big brother now?
Yes.
You are, aren't you? That means you're all grown up.
We were really happy, but I think she was about, it must have been she was about 8 months she was when I started to think that she wasn't doing similar things to Jamie. She wasn't playing with toys in the same way. And then she also got chickenpox then as well, and she got it very badly.
I remember one night I woke up and Tilly was sleeping underneath me and she had been sick, and I was only 3, so I didn't really know what to do. I just ran into Mum's room and woke her up.
When I picked her up and went to go and mop her up, she was all floppy and her head was rolling, and her eyes were sort of back in her head and she wasn't conscious. So I rang the emergency doctor, who rang an ambulance, and they rushed us off to hospital.
I was really, really worried about her and I didn't know what was going on. That was quite scary and I was really worried.
They suspected at the time, well, they didn't tell us that she had a brain abscess. As it happened, she didn't, thank God, but that was what they thought. And then they diagnosed encephalitis.
A short time after Tilly's illness, the Ainsworths moved to America for Anthony's work. It was the doctors there who first gave Tilly's condition a name.
What we were told in America, which kind of covers it really, was Global Developmental Delay, which covered just about everything really. So, and that's how we term it now when people ask what's wrong. But there are so many kids who have that as a diagnosis. It basically just means they don't know. That's all it is.
To try you again, won't we?
Rhys is 11 years old. Like Tilly, he also has developmental delay. Rhys lives in Southend with his mother Debbie. Even with her partner Pete's help, she has to stay at home to look after Rhys.
Rhys is very demanding, but he has brought a lot of positive things in our life. Sometimes things can be stressful, but we do get through it, and I suppose it does make us stronger. Although his development is behind, he's very smart. He's just got severe developmental delay. Rhys's eyes are perfect. It's like they're too perfect. He's got eyes at the back of his head sometimes. With his hearing, he doesn't respond to any noises. You could be shouting, banging, and he doesn't seem to turn round. In his left ear, Rhys can hear sounds, but only the low frequencies, not the high frequencies. He'll sing in his own way and make loads of noises, but he doesn't actually talk. If Rhys could say anything, I would love to hear the word mum out of his little mouth. Mum would just mean so much.
Rhys's father and Debbie split up when Rhys was still very young.
I was on my own for 4 years before I met Pete. I did find it hard, like when I first met Pete, I wanted to be on my own. I didn't sort of want him, I didn't want no help, and then in the end, like obviously we ended up together. I don't know, it was a bit hard at first, but we fell in love and it worked out for all 3 of us.
Oh, young man, you go in a minute. Yeah. For Rhys, it's probably been quite a long journey because he's so used to just having the emotions towards his mum and close family, so to speak, and to have somebody strange coming into your life and taking away attention of your mother. It must have been hard for him to deal with in his own way.
You've made his day, Peter. You've made his day.
He is starting over a period of time now, he's starting to give back, and that's quite something to see. That is when you feel quite special and quite privileged in some respects. It's been a hell of an experience being involved and being accepted.
Like Tilly, The reasons for Reese's developmental delay are many and complex, and started shortly after he was born.
When he was actually first born, he was quiet. To me, he seemed a really quiet baby, and he seemed like there was something wrong from birth, but it never sort of got recognised, but it might just be not one of them things. And then it wasn't until he was 5 weeks old was when he had that brain hemorrhage, and that's when, well, I don't know if that's when his problems began, because it's very hard to sort of say that with like a young baby. So there, he's just had it there, so he's just had his up.
How are you? Must have been worried, Mum, were you?
Cool, yeah.
Yeah?
It's awful.
Come on, let's show them. Did they know about his liver problem this time?
Yeah, that's why they
Right,
opened him
so-
up, because they
Yeah,
thought
so
that he thought he
this-
didn't have a bile duct, and they were
Right.
actually going to make him one.
Right.
But when they went in, he did have it, but it wasn't working properly. It wasn't draining, and that's what actually caused problems.
So they cleared it.
Well, they didn't do nothing to it. They just left it and put him on some
Did
medication.
you know then that he was going to end up having a liver transplant and stuff?
Well, no, I didn't know then. I
Right,
knew
so-
that, like,
Yeah.
we just thought that the medication might work and
Yeah.
he'd be all right, sort of thing.
But things were not all right, and Debbie was about to face a shocking reality about attitudes within the NHS.
Hello.
Hello, Debbie.
I'll take it of him. I'll take it of me. Reese needed a liver transplant. He was, he had he ended up having biliary cirrhosis, and one of the complications of that was he was bleeding internally, and he would have just deteriorated really, and because they thought he had a poor quality of life, they just said that, well, we're not going to do it, and that you should take him home and give him a lot of love. And then
For the time you've got him, basically.
yeah.
And that must
And I was devastated. I was in shock. I was numb.
you realise.
Yeah,
You got home.
I just come home. I went up there all on my own, so I had to take Reese back on the train, and it was just awful. And I got home, and my mum rang up and said like, "Oh, how did you get on at the hospital?" sort of thing. And I just broke down to her. Me and my dad went back up there, and we spoke to this doctor again, and we managed. Well, he said you refer us to another hospital, which he could have said in the first place. But he didn't. I mean, I could have not bothered going back there, and that would have been it. I feel lucky that we did get a liver transplant. I'm very lucky that that did happen, and I'm lucky that it was successful. And he's living proof that it was successful.
Yeah.
I mean, there'll always be blood tests, and he'll always have to take his medicines for the rest of his life. There's always a chance of rejection, but I think the longer you have it, the more chances are better for you. But there's always that chance that it will reject. I couldn't imagine life without him. He is my life, and he always will be.
Yeah.
A major and ongoing concern for Tilly's parents is that she is having a lot of fits. The doctors don't know why she is having them. These fits could be causing further damage to her brain.
Tilly was very ill with chickenpox when she was quite a young child, and it is a possibility that she developed a form of chickenpox called encephalitis, which affects the way, it's an inflammation of the brain, and of course can affect the way that the brain then continues to develop. But whatever happened to her, Tilly actually then developed quite bad seizures, and I've no doubt it will profoundly affect her for the rest of her life. When Tilly's having a fit, she won't lose consciousness, but she will often stand and look very blankly at and stare into space. She doesn't have the sort of fit where she falls on the floor and is unconscious for a period of time and then goes to sleep. while Tilly's having the seizure, there'll be a lot of abnormal electrical activity going on in her brain, so it'll be a total confusion state from her point of view. So although she won't feel any pain, she will feel confused and bewildered, particularly when she's coming out of the fit.
Hello. Not twitching away, his iris is reacting yet.
Although we try very hard to investigate why they're happening, conventional medicine can only look so far.
I think one of the things we find frustrated is that nobody really seems to be interested in Tilly in the medical profession to say, oh gosh, that's strange, what is it? I wonder if it's this, I wonder if it's that. Even now when we go see the paediatrician, who's a lovely lady, and Tilly's been fitting again at the moment, it's, well, just put her on medication. And that doesn't seem enough for me.
Tilly takes this medicine, it's Epilim, sodium valproate, and she has 5 mils in the morning, and we've just upped the dose actually because she's still having her fits in the evening. But because she doesn't have her fits all day, you know, you want them to stop, but you don't want her to have too many side effects from the medication. And so far I think she's all right on it, although she's a little grumpy this week.
Tilly? Oh, come on, wakey, wakey, darling. Go round. Round to Sassy's chair, Tilly's chair.
At the end of the day, she can't function without an adult. She can't dress herself. She can't get anything ready for herself. She can't play by herself even. And that is very, very constraining. And she can have these, you know, if she starts screaming when you're out, now that she's 7, the size that she is, you know, it's really difficult.
Stop, stop.
For Vicky, it's a very difficult balancing act between Tilly's bad moods and her medication. It means that visits to public places are few and far between.
Going for McDonald's today.
See? Now you know where you're going. McDonald's, yeah.
It gets very stifling. And I don't mean that from just sort of from my point of view, although obviously that's an issue, but just from Jamie and Saskia's point of view as well, and for all of us.
You need to be careful. Come on then, babe. Good girl. Hold on, mind the cars.
Tilly, 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 Tilly.
There you go. Follow Jamie. And you. And follow Jamie. God, heaving.
I love chips.
The first thing that Tilly did when we came in here was to go up to somebody else's table and steal a chip. I mean, it's embarrassing for starters. And you never know how people are going to react having somebody else steal their food. She's very, very quick and she can get to food in the blink of an eye. So, again, you have to hang on to her, which she hates. She is a magnet to food, yes.
Rainbow chip. In an arch. Like a rainbow.
Right, I keep moving these around, don't I?
Because Tilly looks normal, people assume that she is. Jamie keeps coming up with this idea of having a big sign saying she is disabled, so that people know that they can't expect the right, you know, similar behaviours from a normal 7-year-old. And I think that can be quite hard for her.
Go on in. Come on.
This way.
Go on in.
Pete and Debs also have to deal with the pressures of taking Reese to public places.
There you go, come on. You're not going to hide away?
I'm not, yeah.
I mean, there has been times, I know...
I've wanted to go home, I've wanted to like curl up.
Ash has come back from the shops and
I've been
you've gone down to the
frustrated,
shops.
I've been hot and I thought, right, that's it, I want to go home.
And to be fair, even I've sometimes done it, and I've even sort of done it sometimes, taken it out of the situation, because it's you think about the other people around you, yeah. Like if you're in a restaurant or something like that, and you understand how it must be sometimes. But there's other times when you think, no, I'm not going to do it, and I'm not going to do it for him because otherwise there'd be no life. Because Reese loves going out. We like to come here because with Reese, It's very difficult. In some places he's not keen on it, whereas in the Royal he's very good and he loves it in here. And the people here are really good with him, aren't you, Roz? And it helps us because we can relax, because there's not many places that we can go where we can relax. But it's just really comfortable for us. Yeah, thank you. Cheers. Here's your health, babe. Yeah.
Okay. Try, are you okay?
That's all right, babe. Thank you. It's changed back. It's fast, isn't it?
One of the major attractions at the Royal Pub for Reese is watching the large double doors swinging shut.
We're going to do the doors, yeah?
Quite why it is so entertaining is a mystery.
Right, yeah? Do you want another drink, Dibs? All right? I'm all right. Yeah? Yeah, I'll get you a squiggle.
There was a great way of putting it that I read in a magazine somewhere where somebody said it's like you've bought a plane ticket to Rio and you find yourself landing in Holland or something. You know, it's not what you're expecting.
Is that Ainsley? Tilly's favourite cookery programme is Ready Steady Cook, and actually I'm not sure whether it's actually the cookery programme or Ainsley that really does it for Tilly, but she loves watching Ainsley and her food. But Ainsley's, you know, top. It's your favourite, Tilly. It's your favourite.
Every time we turn on the cookery channel for her, she goes mmm, because she likes seeing the food.
Who's that, Tilly? Your favourite chef? Right. Leave you in your little food world for a bit.
Mmm. Mmm.
Anthony's job as regional manager for a large bank means lots of travel and long working days.
I think Anthony found being away when so much was going on, you know, very tough. There wasn't a lot he could do or help with, and it took Tilly a lot longer to sort of bond with Anthony, you know, because he wasn't there all the time. Now, obviously, it's very different because he's at home a lot more than he was, which is lovely.
I try and make sure that I don't bring work home with me. I kind of pigeonhole it reasonably well because I know that Vicky's had a tough day as well. So I try and, you know, I come home even if I've had a rotten day at work, try and put that behind me and say, right, well, I'm home and I have to be smiley and happy and helpful.
Wait, we're going to do the music.
We're going to put the music on.
It's coming, is it number 2?
It's nice and peaceful in the kitchen. Glass of wine, bit of cooking. They're all bouncing around next door. So having a glass of wine at the end of the day, get home on time. You cosy? You're going to watch the football with Daddy? Who's going to win? Sassy's going to win, yeah, that figures. Who's going to win, England or Japan? Japan? Oh no! Tilly! Tills! Tilly!
Tilly! Go and sit with Daddy, come on.
Tilly! When Bear and his friends finished decorating, they all went into the kitchen for hot cocoa and some of Ojo's. Sorry, you have to wait to see if England score. Oh, there was nobody there. Oh! Went to the kitchen for hot cocoa and some of Ojo's freshly baked cookies. And where are the biscuits? if you give Tilly affection, you get it back in spades. I think it would be a lot harder if there wasn't any sort of repayment of that. One evening, if we're trying to get them to go to bed, so we can have a couple of hours without Tilly asleep on the sofa, then Jamie will go and sleep in our bed with her, and he'll read until she drops off, and then we'll kind of carry them back to their own room.
Go on, up, keep going. Tilly's bed. Tilly's bed.
Pete and Debs often take Rhys out in the evening to settle him before bedtime. But tonight, there is an unexpected problem.
I think it's a slow puncher, Debs.
I wouldn't say it's a slow puncher. Is it?
But slow punchers just get quicker and quicker.
The other one?
Got keys?
Yeah, you got to pump the other one. Did you hear me?
Yeah, I didn't hear you. I've got no...
Oh! Watch out! No what?
No valve.
You're joking? Wow, how did that happen? I've got a spare one, but I don't know where it is.
Yeah, it's a slow puncher on it. It was under the sink, yeah?
It's under the sink?
Yeah.
I can't see it.
Pete knows that any alteration to Rhys's routine could spell trouble. He gives Rhys the car keys, hoping that he will understand that there has been a change of plan.
Won't be long, mate. Just wait. Just wait. Good boy.
Tilly, sit down. Come on, sit down. Tilly, no. No, Tilly. Everyone hide from Wibbly Pig. Again. Wibbly Pig is counting. Everybody hide.
Now that the flat tyre has thrown Rhys's routine into disarray, Pete and Debs decide to take him out for a drive instead. But they know they must feed him before they go out.
In a minute.
Confused by the change, Rhys is naturally frustrated.
Oh, come here. Come here.
No. Come on.
Rhys burns so many calories that dinner is usually 3 large plates of pasta, his favourite.
Stop it. Stop it.
With Rhys, he likes routine, and when you change his routine, he doesn't like it. He doesn't like change like that.
No, he doesn't.
Oh. Wait.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Tilly!
Tilly! Tilly!
Obviously it's nice when you put the lights back on. Makes such a difference down here. Never land. Well lit up that adventure island, that's nice that. Sunny South End. Look at it.
Hello, sunshine. Oh, your feet are cold. Oh, we have to put some socks on you tomorrow. I think your shoes are there. I was looking out the window. Looking at the lights.
Ronald McDonald's shut. It's mad they shut early.
Good time,
It's singing to us.
You're very vocal tonight.
It's singing.
Sing this song. Ooh!
Yeah. Sort of magic to it, isn't it?
It can take Tilly anywhere between 5 minutes and an hour or two to drop off and go to sleep. I mean, she looks quite tired tonight. The trick is actually not getting her to go to sleep, it's getting out the room without making a noise and waking up again, because if that happens then she usually won't go back. But I think there's a reasonable chance he'll drop off tonight.
Cool, it's hot chocolate, sweet.
Too sweet, is it? Yeah,
Woo, look at that. You have some there. It's hot. Nice. Mmm, yeah?
Oh.
Yeah, have some of this. That's that hot chocolate.
It does, doesn't it? Hear it?
And hold it tight. Is that a wearing down Reese noise?
I think so. The battery's running out. What's that?
That's a funny little noise, that is.
When Tilly's sat on her own and I can watch her through the window or something, I do sometimes hope that she's actually thinking great thoughts. We just don't know what they are. We've been joking for years actually that Tilly is she's a genius. Of course she's a genius. She just hasn't been able to tell us yet. There's a lot going on in there. But, one day we'll find a way to access it.
I think Tilly's very special because she's different than everyone else. Sort of, she's in a world of her own.
I think Tilly's world is probably like a TV set or a radio that's not been tuned in 100%. It's kind of there or thereabouts, but not terribly clear.
I think Tilly's world is often very confusing for her. It's likely that because of her abnormal brain wave activity, particularly when she's having fits, it's a bit like hearing things with a lot of interference. So things are not coming to her clearly. You know, she doesn't see things as we see things, and things that are logical and sensible for us and follow on from one step to another, she doesn't see that. And I think that may well cause some of her upset and frustration. A lot of children, like Tilly, may actually feel real pain when they're having their hair cut, or we're having shoes fitted, or where they're having their nails cut. I mean, we know it's not a painful sensation, but for them, they feel it in a different way to we feel it, and we just have to understand that for them, different sensations have different meanings for them. I think it's one of the real problems for Tilly's parents, because Tilly doesn't have language and she doesn't have ways of necessarily expressing how she feels. Her reaction to things will be very blunted. And I'm always impressed at the way parents can interpret just very, very small mood changes in their children.
Miss. There. Really quick. There.
But I think Tilly does get very frustrated and probably a bit confused about the world and how she's experiencing that. And obviously, as her mother, you would want to take that pain and distress away from her, and that's actually very difficult for them to do sometimes, because I think understanding what Tilly means is very difficult.
Don't worry. She does that. You gonna do it or Mummy? Tilly, do it? No, supposed to actually scrub with that. Right, Tilly, Mummy will do it. I'll be really quick, I promise. Good girl. Last one. There, all done. Go on, off you go. Oh, right, you. Good girl. I think she gets very frustrated because she can't articulate her needs in the same way that her brother and sister can.
A system using photographs of familiar places and objects, introduced by Reese's school, has started to improve communication for Reese.
We've started using picture cards to help him understand the places that we're going to and what he's going to be doing in the immediate future. For example, if we're out and we're going to go home, we'd show him a card of our home. If he wants something to eat or we think he's getting hungry, we show him the spoon, knife, fork and spoon. And if he wants something, he'll normally indicate by going, please. We use the cards for a variety of places that we're going for. If he's in the house, if he wants to use his spinning chair, but mainly it's for destinations or places that we're going. For example, this used to be his favourite tyre swing over at Gunners Park in Shoebury, where we'd go. And his ride that he used to like there. And when he sees these, he tends to calm and he knows where he's going. This is to help us communicate with him as well as he communicate with us. You see children looking strangely at Reese sometimes, and I go over and I say, this is Reese, he can't hear and he can't talk, and if he smacks you or splashes you, he doesn't mean it. And you normally find their attitude changes straight away.
What's that, Reese?
He doesn't talk.
Does he?
No, he can't talk and he can't hear. No. He can walk, but he doesn't walk far.
Have you been to the beach?
No, we've just been to the park.
These houses?
Yeah, they're the cards we show him when we're going somewhere. Is that?
No.
Like we just
Yeah,
showed
we just
him that
showed him
we're
that,
going
so he
over to
knows
the
that he's
park,
going over
so
there.
he knew he was going there.
At Gunners Park.
Because he doesn't understand. That's the
That's
special school.
It's a special school?
Yeah.
On the bus?
He goes on a
Yeah, he
minibus.
goes on the bus
That's
in
his
the
little
mornings.
swivel chair. He likes going round in circles.
You should get one what he wants for sweets like that.
Sweets.
Yeah.
He doesn't eat sweets.
Doesn't he?
No, he eats cheesy Wotsits,
Does he?
but he doesn't eat sweets. No.
Look, who's there, Tilly?
Vicky's parents, who live in France, have come over for a visit. Vicky's dad, whose nickname is Noosh, has a very close relationship with Tilly.
Have you got a kiss? Oh, that's lovely. I know all about it. I'm one of those. Yeah. All down there, was it? Not one of those. I think my special relationship with Tilly was born of the fact that when she had her encephalitis, I had just finished a project and was free, and I was able therefore to go down to St Albans to help Vicky and Anthony. I look after her, and I spent a lot of time in hospital with her. All little children need adults to look after them and love them, but Tilly, with her difficulties, is always somebody that needs you, and I've always responded to that. I suppose she's responded to the fact that I encourage that, because I just love her to pieces, and the fact, you know, she only has to smile and it lights up the day, and I just find her very loving. You're a rogue, aren't you?
And what I have learnt over the last couple of years is not to be proud and to be very honest and just say, look, can't do it today. Can you please take her? So I know if I ever get really bad, or if we as a family really need a break,
that she's got other family that she can go to, and we can have that peace for a bit. It's the, you know, if you've got no escape and nowhere else to go, then it's just psychologically that just does you in, really.
There you go. A little bit tired.
Pete works part-time doing odd jobs, which means he has more time to ease the burden on Debbie.
You know, don't you? You want to go here? There? You want to go there?
Rain or shine, Reese's favourite outing is to the local fun fair. Pete and Debbie take him there as often as their finances allow.
Just come here with me now, and you think that's what, 40 years ago?
Well, she used to come on these.
Yeah, she used to come on the odd things, but she was old then. No, she didn't have the scorpion and things like that. They had the helter skelter.
It was different.
The helter skelter was there.
It was just that little bit here.
House.
It was this little bit here, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I remember
you had the golden hind over there.
I remember coming 20 years ago.
Yeah. Well, we were coming 40.
Well, I'm not as old as you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Vicky's parents have brought Tilly to France for a short holiday. They really understand the day-to-day pressures that the family are under, in particular those on Vicky.
Tilly is a huge drain on, I suppose, Vicky especially, because of course with another little 2-year-old running around, and Tilly is a full-time job, there's no doubt about it, no doubt about it. I know even I get frustrated, and she's only here for a few weeks, and you can, because she needs to be entertained all the time. That's just a part of what she is. Oh, careful, careful, careful. Yes, a dog, that's right. Steady, 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 steady. Steady, steady. Yeah, wait, he's gone.
Noosh and Kate are happy to explain to those who are curious what is wrong with Tilly, although it's a bit more difficult in French.
Yeah, that's right.
Ah, ça veut dire pas compris le français comme ça. D'accord. Il est mignon, hein. Oh là là. Ouais, j'aime comme ça les garçons.
Elle a mal à la tête.
Ah, la tête.
Voilà.
7 ans, âge 7 ans.
Ouais.
2 ans.
Oh là là.
Oh, lucky. You get a kiss. You get a kiss.
Le soir, il y a la musique, tout est bien. Il y a la dansant. Oui, il est très joli.
Ah,
Oui.
bon.
Aujourd'hui,
Mais- et-
oui, aujourd'hui, peut-être il n'est pas.
Fini? Ah.
Voilà.
So we should have come last night.
Voilà.
Au revoir.
Aujourd'hui,
Au revoir. Oui, oui.
Voilà.
Ok,
Allez,
au revoir. You right?
As Reese gets older and a lot stronger, Pete's role in helping Debbie to keep him under control is becoming much more important.
I think she's finding it easier. Used to find it very hard when she used to take him out and he'd be lashing back and causing a scene in some respects. But that's basically, I think he's trying to get either what he wants or he doesn't want to go one place, he wants to go somewhere else. Debs does find it quite hard, which you can understand. It's because he's quite a strong boy, he's getting stronger too. But he gets bored with certain places and he'll behave for a little while and then he'll start being mischievous.
No.
Don't do that, it's nasty.
No.
When we're out with Reese, we have good days and bad days, or we have a good and bad day all in one day. I suppose we're always getting stares and everything, and when Reese has a tantrum, and people do sort of turn and look and stare, and sometimes you do feel like you just want to curl up and go, basically. I think it's probably quite natural to stare, but when your son's having a really bad tantrum and he's hitting and lashing out or throwing things and you're getting quite angry and frustrated, the last thing you want is like a crowd of people looking at you.
No. Come on.
Of growing concern to Pete and Debbie is the possibility that if Reese's tantrums were to get worse, he may have to go to a residential school for more difficult children. This is something that Debbie in particular dreads.
He's 11 years old and he's starting to obviously get quite tall. He's going to be like his mum, probably 6 foot. And with his school they have a non-hands-on policy for pupils that become difficult or lash out when they're frustrated. They're talking about a residential school, which is one of the things that I and his mum do not ever want to have to do.
But you're not. You're keeping me warm, you are. You're my little hot water bottle.
Oh, you just sound a bit more. I was trying to get a silhouette.
We don't want him to be able to have to go into that sort of environment where there'll be a regime type thing.
Cool, I haven't got much hair on top as it is. Don't pull it out, love.
What life will be like for Tilly in the coming years is a very difficult subject for those close to her to imagine.
I think I see Tilly's future, unless we can find her some form of therapy which will actually help her to a more normal development. I hate to think about it, but I think eventually she will end up in care. But I think if we can get some form of therapy that will help her towards a more normal development, then she may be able to lead a more normal life when she grows up. But at the moment, I don't like to think about it.
I can't talk about it.
Just give us a minute. Oh, dear, dear, dear.
It would be nice if she could talk.
Hang on.
We'd really love her to talk,
yes,
wouldn't we?
I was going to say.
That would be really special.
There's one thing that I would like for Tilly. Was it if I asked her if she wanted to go to the toilet, and she said yes. Because I would like her to talk, just a few words, and she desperately needs to have this toilet thing, because living in nappies for the rest of her life is going to be fair.
No. It's going to make your life very difficult.
Good. So it would actually almost solve to kill two birds with one stone if I asked the question and she said yes, because it would mean she had some words. It would mean she would know when she wanted to go to the toilet. Those two things would make a huge difference. Careful, I don't fall in there.
For Vicky, the need to give all her children her attention in equal measure is a constant source of anxiety.
Tilly blossoms when one of her siblings isn't around. Because she can't talk, she can't tell us what she needs or what she wants. So poor old Tilly, just by default, sort of comes last in the pecking order, really. And likewise, if she goes to my mum and dad's and it's just her, then she's lovely. She has a great time. Very, very chuffed that she's got them all to herself, which is very sweet. And so, and it does do, I think, yeah, for that reason, that having that independence does do her good.
There you go, mind the house pipe.
For Reese, the night is still young.
There you go, mate.
The Scorpion is the fastest ride at the local fun fair. Reese adores it. Because he can't hear, movement and light stimulate him most of all.
There we go.
On their last visit to St Albans, Vicky's parents left her some videos of Tilly taken several years before. Inevitably, they raised many doubts and questions in Vicky's mind about those early years.
I mean, I haven't seen videos of Tilly as a baby for years. I watched them the other day and you just thought, no, she's just so not right. I can't believe we didn't realise earlier, actually. I really can't. Just think how much more we could have done for her earlier if we'd got on her case as a baby.
That's better, isn't it?
From when Tilly was very tiny, she would stick her tongue out a lot, and I don't remember thinking anything of it at the time. Dad said he thought there was something wrong with her doing that, but it's only looking back now that I think it might have suggested something was up. She's not doing it there. Oh, there we go. Those big eyes.
Wake up, baby.
No, I think she looks fine there.
Wake up, Tilly.
Wake up, Tilly.
Wake up. Find more. Find more.
Go on then. Tilly's, coming up for 3 months in this picture, doing all the right things. Good eye tracking, smiling, responding to people. I don't know if we could have noticed anything then, to be honest. That bit. Where's the beginning?
Unfortunately for Jamie, amongst Noosh's videos, Vicky has unearthed one of her son's earliest singing performances.
Get off! You were brilliant! Jamie had always seemed to be coping really well with the fact that Tilly was disabled and couldn't talk and did things differently, and he really seemed to take it in his stride. But there was a time, and I think he was about 7, that he and Anthony were having a conversation. They were talking about Tilly, and Jamie kept saying, well, when she can talk. And Anthony said to him, well, you do realise that she may never talk. He just got so upset. He got so upset. He was crying and screaming, and I don't think it had ever occurred to him that Tilly wouldn't get better, which may have been our fault because we'd always talked in terms of Tilly being ill, and if you're ill, you get better. So this sort of epiphany came for Jamie, and he was distraught, absolutely distraught, and he did say he would do anything to help Tilly talk. Why can't she? Why would she be like that? You know, I'd give away all my toys. There must be something I can do to help my sister talk. So we started looking into alternative ways of how Jamie could be involved in helping Tilly. I don't know where he got the idea that it would make her talk. I think it must have been, he's got some books that he reads called Dolphin Diaries, and it definitely comes up in those books. It's just the way that his mind works, and that's just what he hopes for. And if nobody else is going to make it happen, then maybe the dolphins will.
Dolphin encounters are offered by many organisations. With Vicky's usual thoroughness, she considered the various options carefully.
This one just had the combination of everything that we were looking for, really. The fact we could all be involved. We're using wild dolphins. They look like a very professional outfit. They obviously know what they're talking about. Very adamant about, you know, how you treat the animals. It just covered everything, whereas a lot of the other sites only look at, you know, one aspect, or, you know, they're really selling it to you. You know, come bring your child to swim with the dolphins with us, and won't it be great? And you think, no, there is actually more to it than that.
It wasn't my idea to take Reese swimming with dolphins, although I've always wanted to. It was a lady who takes him to school, approached us and asked us if they minded if they fundraised for us. We were like really taken back by it and said, yeah, go for it.
I think it was about Christmas time when I actually saw a documentary on television about dolphin therapy, and the more I saw it, the more I could see that it might be the kind of thing that Reese may respond to. I started researching dolphin therapy. I felt that if we were going to do this once in a lifetime trip, that it had to be the right trip and it had to be at the right centre.
I'm glad Debbie insisted on the wild dolphins, because I was a bit like that about I would have been happy with either, but I think the wild dolphins is going to be a better, more natural experience. Yeah, whereas I think when it's captive, it's going to be more, which isn't wrong, it's going to help some children. But I think with Reese and stuff, he's going to be more, you know what he's like if he can't have his way. I know with some, it's going to be better as a family for us, for you and me, and for him. That's what I think, from what I've seen on bits and pieces. I'm glad she stuck to her guns. Yeah. Bless her. I wonder what he's thinking. He just doesn't know, does he?
He ain't got a clue. Even if you showed him a picture of a dolphin, he wouldn't think nothing of it.
We must try that. We must show him some pictures of dolphins all the time up we're leading up to it. Yeah. Yeah? It's making me emotional. It's not good times, you know.
Peter Dobbins is an underwater acoustics specialist in the University of Bath's physics department. He has spent many years researching how dolphins use their sonar.
The sounds emitted by dolphins are of such high intensity that they can warm the tissues they're penetrating. This is something that clinicians using medical ultrasound have discovered. This tissue warming can have many beneficial effects. It can relieve aching muscles, it can loosen up tightened joints, and potentially what effect it might have on the brain is something we're only just beginning to understand.
I know dolphins use ultrasound to guide themselves and to communicate. I don't think it's beyond the realms of possibility that they may well also use a technique similar to NMR to actually visualise tissues within the body and see beneath the skin, and perhaps can pick up abnormalities that are present that perhaps we can't see. I think the conventional medication and medicine can only do so much for children like Tilly, and clearly we aren't able to make it better for her. I think it would be absolutely wonderful and be a very good measure of how it had worked if Tilly's communication was improved.
Hickory dickory dock, the mouse ran up the clock struck one, dong, the mouse ran down, hickory dickory dock. We've started to bring in a lot of dolphin themes into, you know, what's around the house. We've got cards with dolphins on. She's got a big picture with dolphins on, and we talk about them all the time. So I'm sure that by the time we get there, hopefully something might ring true for her. Tilly, look, 2 dolphins and 1 dolphin. Isn't he lovely? You're going to go swimming with the dolphins. Tilly, are you going to swim with the dolphins? No. Nah. What do you mean, nah? Yes, you are. Nah. Yes. Yes. Say yes. Jamie is expecting Tilly to talk when we get back, and we have told him that that probably won't happen, but he can't help himself hoping for his little miracle.
I'm not sure what the future would be like for Tilly, because it all depends on whether the dolphin therapy works or not. Because if it does, she might lead on to be a normal person like me or you. But if not, who knows? I might have to take her in, I'm not sure.
We're hoping it might calm some of these behaviours he's got. It could be just learning to do more things for himself and just kickstart in any direction, anything to do with his development.
You having to think about that, aren't you? No. No. No.
I'm not going to hope for miracles and stuff, do you know what I mean?
Mum said not to be too hopeful. There are some children that haven't been affected at all, but other children have come back with a few words in their head. So I'm hoping for that to happen. A few words for Tilly.
Island 106 weather update.
Hi everyone, this is meteorologist Justin Kiefer in the Type 13 Forecast Center. A stationary front is draped across the northern Gulf.
Families from all over the world are drawn here, hoping that the combination of dolphins and therapy will help their children.
High temperatures in the upper 80s. Overnight tonight, 40% chance for rain. Low temperatures in the low 70s. Less rain tomorrow.
There is a huge expectation from the parents because at times they've been working for years to be able to realize that dream of theirs. And when they come to us, we know what they want. We know that they want their child to be cured. So of course we're not going to be able to guarantee healing for their children. So we need to keep their expectations as low as possible.
The expectations of the parents anytime they come here are, I think, naturally high. They really want the best for their kids, and I think they've heard and hoped for a really special time. I think Denny does a good job of not saying that miracles are going to happen, but in fact, sometimes they do. But I think the parents hopefully are not misled.
We do not per se practice dolphin therapy. Of course, we have therapists, we have healthcare professionals that we use in our programs. Those people have been trained, they use their skills to work on the children. And parallel to that, we use the dolphin encounters as also as a motivator, but as an impact, as an emotional impact on the children. And the impact of the dolphin is just there to as the cherry on the cake, if you will.
Snorkeling, and it's going to be really good to snorkel with dolphins.
The large boat acts as a base. The families transfer to the smaller pontoon boats to search for dolphins.
There, see them, yeah? See them, Danny? Straight ahead.
I know.
About 100 yards past, yeah?
You ready?
Yeah. You ready, yeah, man? Should be back.
It's thought that dolphins have been interacting with people here since the Native American Indians lived along this coast. Out of the 100 or so bottlenose dolphins that live in this bay, around 20 known individuals still continue to do so. Averaging 8 feet in length and weighing 600 pounds, the bottlenose dolphin is an impressive visitor.
definitely had an interest in this young man. Let's get coming up, you can hear the sonar.
Yeah, you hear it?
Oh yeah.
You feel it?
Yeah. And this is what he must be feeling as well.
Oh yeah.
When he seen him come up, that was just something else. He was definitely interested. Kept coming looking. You, superstar.
Day one for the Ainsworths is not going well. Tilly has become fractious, and now Vicky is feeling seasick.
I suppose it's warm when you're in, huh? You out there?
Yes, choose with her. So she's swim over to there, yeah?
Is that where your family's at? Coming back.
Jump.
Danny, can Jamie get on your boat? A bunch of dolphins over there?
Yeah, we had quite a few. Yeah.
Wow. You mean you got kissed?
Yeah.
Woohoo! You got bit? Oh, you know what they do? They taste you that way.
Yeah.
They get their tongue in their teeth and they just taste you.
So they can recognize you.
Yeah.
Next
cool.
Vicky didn't have the best of days today, really. For somebody who loves travel and adventure, she spent most of the day curled up on the boat or leaning over the side of it, feeling seasick. So she didn't really see any dolphins until Tilly's really had an encounter with them and seen one and registered it. Then me seeing one is kind of incidental, really. But I am the Dolphin King today.
Children from the UK that we've been working with have been really special. With Reese, he is just a child that has so much inside of him. But he has a lot of other things going on too. He wants to express himself. I see it sometimes not always in a positive realm, but he's reaching out and he's letting go of things. I think he's having a good time.
The therapists say that some things can take a bit of time for children to start doing things, but when Pam was giving him water therapy in the pool, she actually got him to swim underwater, and he'd done that a few times, and he's never done nothing like that for us.
The therapy provided by the staff is not just aimed at the children. It is also designed to ease the stresses and strains on the parents.
One of the techniques that we use is called Watsu, and it's a shiatsu massage done in the water. When I first started working on her neck, it was stiff, and then all of a sudden she just melted, and it was letting go of all that tension. It was very, very good, very good. The families do have to carry a lot of burdens, and they find as the children grow, they learn to adapt and they learn to accommodate and they learn to adjust, but that burden is still there. And when the children get to a certain age and a certain weight, things become more complicated. You know, carrying them and lifting them and moving them, but I see it in their bodies, their backs, their knees, their ability to deal with everyday worldly problems. They're so focused on their kids that they just let those other things go by, and that's so true. They really do.
Although Dennis has been doing this for 12 years, he can never predict what the next day will bring. Today it's a very rare treat for the Ainsworths. A baby dolphin happily playing with its mother.
Hey, his mom! Right by you, right by you.
Equally unpredictable, and certainly not as welcome, a jellyfish with its long stinging tentacles brushes against Tilly's legs. Tilly has a high pain threshold. Her cries are usually cries of frustration, so it takes Vicky some time to realise that this is something much more serious.
Hey, sweetheart. Oh! All right. Go sit with Mummy.
It's been a hot water.
Yeah.
Dennis applies vinegar to the stings, which after a few minutes will help to reduce Tilly's discomfort.
It must have been really painful because she doesn't usually feel pain. She doesn't usually cry about it, but this time she was really screaming.
The jellyfish doesn't get it all its own way. It makes a ready meal for a passing shoal of spadefish. It's a new day, and Tilly seems to have recovered completely and forgotten all about her encounter with the jellyfish.
Well, her jellyfish stings are getting better. Her ankle isn't as swollen as it was. They still look pretty nasty, but she doesn't complain. She's not bothered now. She recovered quite quickly in the end. Sit down, darling.
For Jamie, however, it's a different matter. Tilly's experience is still very much on his mind.
I have been really worried about the jellyfish because Tilly got stung and now I'm really nervous about it, so I don't want to go in the water when there's jellyfish there.
Jay, why don't you come in, babe?
Tilly seems blissfully unaware of the tensions aboard the pontoon boat.
That water's nice.
Okay, we're coming.
With sea conditions good and dolphins in the area, Pete and Debs are hoping that Reese will have another encounter today.
Where are you?
They are not disappointed.
Don't jump on me.
Right by you.
He was splashing away and he didn't really see the dolphin because he won't wear a mask. And the dolphin it was under, come under.
And also this dolphin came up from behind him, it came up right up close to him and his dorsal fin went right past his head and then it dived and he was watching in the water to see where it went.
The dolphin was coming right this way, right in front of Pete, right to his face, and he clicked with his camera, so hopefully we got a good shot of that. But the dolphin really did take a nice interest in Reese, and Reese did like watching him go back down.
Yeah, definitely. And when you're in the water, you could hear their sonar and you could feel like something in your chest. You could definitely feel something. And the dolphin kept rolling over in front. It just didn't want to go. Magical is a good word, but it was just a really nice experience.
It was a lovely experience.
Yeah, a really nice experience.
The good luck continues, and Vicky and Tilly find themselves surrounded by a pod of inquisitive dolphins.
We don't fabricate the reward for those children. We cannot fabricate it, and we accept the natural flow of events. In a captive situation, you can train a dolphin to bring the reward to the child for a behavior. We cannot do that, but what we can do is we can facilitate, we can make it possible for the child to have an incredible experience. And it is the real experience because that dolphin is there because he wants to be there. I don't believe the dolphins are imparting a healing process. I believe that the impact of the experience is so strong that it just generates so much joy, and I believe that joy is the main factor for any kind of healing process.
It's the last day of the Water Planet programme, and Anthony has decided to keep Saskia entertained while Vicky heads out with the others, hoping for a last memorable encounter. Fortunately, the jellyfish seem to have gone elsewhere.
Well, good news, Jamie. There are 3 jellyfish out today.
Remarkably, Tilly seems to be a lot calmer today, and allows Vicky to go off with Jamie without so much as a murmur.
The afternoon that I had with Jamie, that was so much quieter than the other sessions that we did, was definitely very special. And I think that it just took one magical encounter for you to be sold on the whole week. You know, I hadn't really seen much of the dolphins for the first couple of days, and you do start thinking, well, what's all the fuss about? Yes, you see them come and go, but until you really do have an encounter, and you only need one, and then you're sold.
I did definitely hear the sounds of the dolphins underwater. It's just so noisy, really loud in your ears.
Not to be outdone, Sassy gets into the swing of things. As the afternoon draws to a close, Vicky finds herself alone with a large pod of dolphins. It provides an unforgettable experience and surpasses all her expectations.
Just that these huge animals can sort of come out of the gloom and choose to just sort of brush past you. I mean, I never felt the need to touch them. I never wanted to reach out and touch them, but they pretty much touched me. They'd be swimming by and then they'd turn their heads and see, I mean, they'd look you right in the eyes and sort of turn their heads and see you like this and then follow what you were doing. And that was great fun.
Hey, good girl, Tilly. Good girl.
All the children change with their trip. I mean, you can't be the same person after an experience like this. It's just, you can't. But I've kept track on a chart all the children that I've had or that we've worked with over the years and the changes that we've seen before, during, and after. And every single child has something in that column of the change.
Tilly!
Tilly!
Hello! Hello, sweetie pie.
For Tilly's grandparents, Noosh and Kate, there was no doubt that Tilly had changed.
We both thought that she was much more calmer and much more affectionate, but this time it was full arms around the neck and cheeks right in, cuddled and all the rest of it. But like Kate, I wasn't expecting any major miracles from it. It would have been nice if something had happened, but you have this picture in your mind of the dolphin sort of scanning this child, and immediately the brain sort of clicks and sorts itself out. But we know in practicality that's sort of wishing for the moon.
I think since we've come back from the holiday, people have been looking really carefully at poor old Tilly. You know, has she changed? Has she changed? And nearly everybody has said that they think that she has.
Tilly! Uh-oh. Woods. Deep, dark wood. Yes, we'll get the berries. Come on. You're going to eat them, are you? Tilly! Tilly May. Come here. Come here.
I think we all feel that Tilly's calmer. It's not anything that you can be too specific about. She has been in a very good mood for a very long time since we got back. And she does seem calmer. She's doing a lot less of the extra physical movement that she did. She's in a much better mood, as I said.
Look, Tilly. Look. Oh, you need to just get the berries, darling, otherwise you will get prickled. Because they're prickly plants. No, you don't have to eat it. Just pick them for Nana. Carry that one. Mine's got two. Oh no, I'm not carrying you. We're only going there, look.
I do definitely think that Tilly realised that there were dolphins swimming around her. She might not have known what they were, but she definitely recognised the activity that was going on around her.
Later.
Tilly seems to be very focused on watching a DVD. But first she has to persuade Jamie to go along with her plan.
She didn't get any new words, but she has improved on her mood.
I told her she couldn't.
Like Tilly, there also seems to be a change in Reese.
I think Reese has been a bit calmer since Florida in like certain situations. Like, do you know when we took him out last night and we sort of changed his routine, didn't we? Okay. Usually he'd really sort of geek off because he didn't have his bath, but he was really calm. Yeah, I thought like he would have the right hump, but he was really cool and everything, and it was really good.
I think it has been a little bit since we've been back.
I think it's a bit early days to say whether he's benefited. I don't know. I don't know. It's hard to say that. What do you think, Pete?
Jenny said on the bus this morning she feels he's been a lot calmer, and I was quite surprised to hear Jenny say that.
When we first started taking Reese a year ago, he used to bang on the window ever such a lot, and he used to kick the window ever such a lot. Whereas now he'll tap the window, he doesn't kick it, and he's generally a lot calmer.
Since coming back from Florida, a few times when we've been out to, like for example, the Royal Hotel, where we often take Reese, a couple of people in there have actually sort of said to us that he seems to be a lot calmer, happier as well. He seems quite happy, quite a lot more happy and giggly. Joe's putting his shoes on a lot more now as well, and 7 times out of 10 getting them on the right feet.
Come on, shoes.
Come on. Good boy. Superstar.
Peter's a keen photographer and sells his pictures in the local pub.
I take a lot of pictures of Reese for his albums and the albums at home for Nan and Grandad. So I just love taking photos, and these are fantastic subjects to take photos of.
I like that one on the right. I like that one.
The barmaid at the Royal has also noticed a change in Reese.
And since we've been back, it seems, someone on the bus the other day said that it seems a lot calmer.
He's so much calmer.
Yeah,
Me and Ross were
really
discussing it today. I said to her, I said, like, have you noticed anything in Reese? And she said, yeah. She goes, I can't believe it. He's gone calmer.
He has his moments, but he
Yeah, but
seems
every
to
child
be
does,
more,
though.
more aware of his surroundings and stuff.
Little angel now, bless him.
It's dolphins!
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 Tilly loves watching our video of the holiday that Denise sent us. But I really didn't think that Tilly would be interested, because it's not music, it's not you know, big purple dinosaurs. It's not cooking. But as soon as it came on, she rushed up to the television, started bouncing and flapping and laughing and clapping, and she watched a lot of it. So we play that a lot now. We've seen it quite a few times. The test will be whether she can maintain her good humour through the winter, because she's not a winter baby. She's usually really hard work. She gets very, very grumpy. Usually starts having, you know, her fits in, you know, the beginning of the year. So the real test will be whether she can maintain how she's been through the winter.
I believe that in himself, he is a lot calmer since we've been back. Don't know if I could put that down to the dolphins or whatever, but he does seem to be a bit calmer, which is a good thing, because it's needed for when his mum goes out and he's in other people's company. Whether it will last, whether pubescent frustration will creep in, we'll see.
I think when he got back from America, I think he was a little bit calmer for a little while, but then a couple of months later, he got really challenging,
yeah.
And like he was really lashing out. Like there was problems at school where he was hitting out at the children and the teachers, and that did get like a bit of a problem. Like since all that challenging behaviour has calmed down, he's doing all right. His voice has started to break a little bit. He's growing like a little moustache and a few little whiskers. He's got bigger, a lot broader, and he's a lot heavier. I can't pick him up anymore. You're silly. In the past, I've always cut his hair while he's been asleep because he wouldn't like let me touch his hair, and it used to be a right struggle. But now he's got so much better, he's got more patient with it, and we sort of made it into a little game. Go round and round. I couldn't have been able to do this a year ago. So he doesn't like this bit. You don't like that bit, do you? Finished, yeah? Finished? In the last year, he's definitely become more affectionate. We get so many kisses all the time, and it's lovely. It's really nice to see. Reese's walking has improved loads.
This way. Oh, you're being such a good boy.
He's improved loads because I can take him for a walk to the shops, or I might go a little bit further and walk into my friend's house. He's not tiptoeing like he used to, he only does it like now and then. He walks quite flat-footed. Done a sponsor walk at school a couple of weeks ago for sports relief. He'd done a mile walk, and he got a certificate for it, and his teacher said that once he'd done it, he sort of had a great big smile on his face. But yeah, he'd done really well doing a mile walk.
People have noticed a significant change in Reese. He's become a lot happier in himself. He's become a lot easier to be managed by his peers and by the teachers. We're optimistic. Yeah, very optimistic, but I just want to see.
I'll always look after Reese at home. Always. I can't see me never looking after him unless, I suppose, I was really, really, I don't know. He's my life and he'll always be my life, and I'm his mum and I'll always be there for him. I brought him into the world and it's down to me to look after him because I love him and I'm proud of him.
Tilly was lovely when we got back from Florida, and she was very calm for quite some time afterwards. Most people noticed a difference in her, and we didn't have the winter syndrome from her that we normally have. So that lasted most of that winter, and then we started early the next year looking into doing a new therapy with her. It's called applied behavioural analysis.
More jumping! Should we jump? Jumping! La 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 la. Who's in there?
Nana.
Good talking, that's Tilly. Touch your nose. Good girl, Tilly.
Nana.
Good girl. Good talking and signing.
Nana.
Nana, good girl. Barbara.
Baba.
Good girl, Tilly. Good talking. Boo, 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 boo. Nana.
Baba Dada.
Oh, good talking.
The therapy she had in the States was fabulous, definitely, and that did show me what we could possibly achieve. The enthusiasm that the therapists in America had, and they put no limits on anyone. You know, they just assumed she could do anything, and they got her to do all sorts of things. I think that was the first inkling that we had, that she might actually be able to achieve more than she had been. And of course, you know, the contact with the dolphins would probably just reinforce that, really.
Dada.
Good talking.
Dada.
Good talking. Give me Tilly.
Dada.
Yes, Tilly. Good girl. Can you give me a cuddle? Mwah.
Tilly's future is looking really good now. We're all coping a lot better. She is succeeding at things. Her confidence has grown hugely. Everybody's happy, and Tilly, you know, who knows how far she'll go. As I say, there are no limits now.
Scoot.